Hi, Muddy Boots here. Just a quick intro really to what is in effect part 2 of the previous video from earlier. I was out with Brad and Pete. Brad had come over from the US on holiday, spending 2 or 3 weeks around the lakes, and it was sort of the first afternoon really of our meet-up, and we packed in quite a lot actually over the three days. And on this particular video we've got Hardknott Roman Fort, Stanley Gill Fort down in Eskdale, which I've got to admit was quite impressed with. Never even heard of it before. Went over to Wasdale, and a lot of the locations we got from this, and it's the Snap Guide, and that's SNAPP Snap Guide, and it's an app that covers photographic locations. I think they do them for different countries. They certainly do them for the UK, because I've got Yorkshire Dales and Lake District, I've got the two, and you just go into it and it brings up a menu of different photographic spots, a map of the brings a map up, a load of different locations, and it uses the GPS on the device, and it will pop up the nearest photographic locations. And the photographic locations give you car parking, GPS coordinates, and a bit of a write-up about the location too, best times to go, sunset, sunrise, that type of thing, times of year. It's very useful. Snap Guides, they're not expensive, and at the moment they have got a buy one get one free offer, bog off offer on, so I'll put a link down below to them, because really useful. And if you're out and about, it's good to check out some locations which others have found successful. So it's just part 2 of the video, and without any further delay, let's run the intro. We've just come from Dale Head Farm, and we've gone up and over Hardknott Pass, which is, you can see in the back, a couple of cyclists actually going over that, and they must be mad. Hardknott is one of the steepest roads in England. I think it's about 1 in 3, with some steep hairpins. And we've just arrived at Hardknott Roman Fort, which I'm just going to turn around, and as you can see behind, we've got Pete and Brad have wandered over there to the Hardknott Roman Fort. We're going to get some see if we can get any useful photographs from over there. So come on, come with me and we'll see what the what the Romans ever did for us. It's quite windy, but we're just entering the fort for, I think, is the north gate, and as I turn around you see the perimeter walls of the fort, and down to the centre the commander's house or hut as it would have been, and two ancient Roman photographers setting up. No doubt there'll be sepia in these photographs. And we've got an extensive view down into Eskdale, further down the valley. And I can tell you it's cold. So just actually set up here as a collection of photographers, really, and taking the view down the valley, and just, it's actually a nice shot. F9, got my wide lens on, and just going to hit the shutter button. 250th of a second, ISO 100, and just give it a, I'm on a timer, so let's just, there we are, and that is what we've got. And this is what it actually looks like after I've lightroomed it, because I do shoot in a flat profile, so this is it here now. So Pete, are you okay with what you've got?
I am, yeah. That one's about 20 seconds long, a little bit of blown in the sky there, but got it bang on with that one.
So what have you got on the front? Is that a polarizer or you got a filter? Or
just
what?
a 10 stop on, no grads. I've just bracketed the shots.
Right.
Stop at that.
Yeah.
Just basically just to capture the sky, so I've got the foreground nice and lit.
Are you going to use those 3 shots for an HDR, or?
I'll probably use just 2. This one here, all I'm missing is just the little tiny bits in the sky there, but it's fine with that, so I'll literally just use a couple of tiny bits of around there. So the majority of the shot will be this one here, just about 20 seconds long.
So the additional shot is, so you're compensating for the exposure there, are you, to ensure?
I am, yeah. I mean, I could use a grad here, but with the uneven lie in the land, I'm going to end up with a lot of their mountains a lot darker than the other side, so it'll be uneven, so I'll bracket on this.
Right,
so
yeah.
Just try and do the central bits of the sky that I think. I'm quite happy with that, you know.
Well, I have seen a lot of your work on Flickr and it looks damn good, so...
Thanks very much.
We're still here over at Hardknott and we're just moving around, just finding different shots really around the fort, and we've got quite I'm just on top of the wall. I don't know if you should do this, but just got one looking along the wall of the perimeter wall, and the light keeps passing across Eskdale, and it's quite a pleasing effect really. So we're just, again, it's a common phrase in photography, waiting for the light, and it's heard many times, and waiting for the wind to die down, and yeah, it's a good location. There's quite a few different compositions to choose from, so this is what the wall shot looks like. Just one of the turrets to the corner, and just been taking a shot over the back over towards Hardknott. I'm now going to make my way down the fort to the bottom lower down in Eskdale, so I can get the shots as to what you can see behind. So might be interesting. I'm going to see what pans out down here,
and the light is actually improving now. It's getting a bit better, which is always the case. You can stand in a shot for an hour waiting for the sun to peep through and nothing happens, and as soon as you pack the camera away, lo and behold, the sun comes out. So I'm just making my way down there. We've just moved to the outside of the Roman Fort now, because there's some lovely light coming through, and if moving towards the edge, there's a wonderful panorama opens up to the back, and we've got the Scafell range covered in very moody cloud and some beautiful light now coming in. There's a spin around lower down the valley. You've got a lot more light now coming up from Eskdale, so we can see the light coming in and get ready to take the shots as it hits the back of us over here. So this is what it looks like. We're just here now at Eskdale. We are down in Eskdale,
yeah.
And we've just parked up on a car park just down from Boot, and we're going to go to Stanley Gill Force, and as well as Stanley Gill Force, there look to be a nice couple of locations next to the river, with a bridge over the river and things, so we could be pulling out something useful. I don't know, we'll have to see. So watch this space. Still at the car park, and we're trying to work out where to go, and Pete is, as you can see, is checking the map so we know exactly which spots to go and take some photographs.
Yeah, we're in. Here we go.
I don't know. So we're just making our way over to Stanley Gill Force. And it's a nice walk up a little wooded glen, and this is Stanley Gill here, and we go over the bridge, continue heading up, and I think Stanley Gill Force is it's in quite a steep ravine, 150 feet deep ravine. I don't think the waterfall is that, but keep watching and we'll see what Stanley Gill Force looks like. As you can probably tell from the noise here at Stanley Gill Force, and that is it. So Pete's just down the bottom, as you can see, setting up. Brad's just about to make his way down there, and I'm going to follow Brad and get some shots of this. we're still here at Stanley Gill Force, and just as you can see, got some filters on. Got 3 filters, got a 2, a 4 and an 8 neutral density, so that's stopping it down. I'm on F16 in 3 seconds. I've dropped the ISO down to 64. I can go down to 1 if I wanted on this. So I'm just going to hit the shutter button. I'm on a 10-second timer, just so there's no wobble, and see what happens when that clicks. Probably can't hear it. Can't hear a thing. There we are. That's what you've got. Looks a touch underexposed, so I'm going to increase the time a bit, but this is what they look like.
No, got out there, found it in coat pocket.
What?
So was there?
Yeah.
What happened, Pete, then?
There's a bit of a hat incident where got back up here. I got my hat, checked my bag, must be down there. Climbed down again. Yeah, it's in the coat pocket.
It was just nice to go back and have a look though, wasn't it?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, good.
Just making our way back now from Stanley Gill Force. Was it Force? Yeah, Stanley Gill Force. I'm here with Brad. So what do you think of the location, that, Brad?
Fantastic.
Yeah. Now, if Brad says fantastic, he means so, because this guy takes a superb photograph. I'll put a link to his Flickr stream. Some absolute belting images on there, so do feel free to click it and have a look, because he knows what he's talking about. We've just come down from Stanley Gill Force now, and we've approached a bridge we drove over to get to the car park, and it's quite a scenic shot really, and we're just debating which side of the bridge to go onto for the best shot. The water looks quite still down there, so we could get some reflections, but this is not too bad. Nice bit of foreground interest, but people on the bridge, so that's one of those situations where you then have to wait for them to move, and we'll make a decision on what to do. We'll consult the Oracle, Pete. He's a man who knows a good photograph, so whatever he says goes.
We're just down here at Trough House Bridge now, and Pete's just setting up. I think he's going to go for some reflective shots in the water. Now that the canyoners, would you call them? Canyoners have gone, disappeared. We couldn't have picked a worse time to come and try this spot when a group of 15 teenagers turn up and start jumping in the water. Just started raining.
It's nice if you get right down you can frame that pine.
Oh yeah. Did he say pie or pine?
Pine.
Pine.
There we go.
Oh, lovely. Lovely shot.
Just a little bit more for that.
We've just wandered into the Brook House Inn for some lunch after taking some photographs, and both Pete and Brad have got excited because of 180 whiskies. They're like kids in a sweet shop and they're wondering whether they should have an early start. So I just want the food. This is a man in his element.
Awful, isn't it? And it's raining, so we've got an excuse to be in it as well.
So what have we got from Isla?
Well, there's a full shelf up there.
Oh, look at
There we
that.
go. I think all bases are covered looking at that.
So how many is there? About 30.
Yeah, Hardbeg, Burmore, Brookladdy,
Been there.
Kalila,
Been there.
Kilcoman,
Been there.
Lagavully,
I've been that one.
and Potter's up, even got a Paul Tellon.
Ah, that's closed.
Yeah, it is,
That
but
is-
it's reopening.
Is it?
It is.
That is worth a right few quid.
Yeah. And it's 37.50 a dram.
We've just left the Brook House pub after our late lunch, and we just decided then we'd trek over here to Wasdale. And as you can see, got the well-known screes to the rear, and up there we have Yew Barrow, Great Gable,
Green Gable.
is it Green Gable?
Yeah.
And Scarfell shrouded in mist, and we're getting some better light as well, so hopefully we should get some decent shots from this lot. Oh, look at the light now coming across at the back end. Yeah, should be good. Just going to get the gear out and set up and see what sort of stuff we get, and watch this space at the side of Wastwater and looking up that way to take some shots, and it's working out nice. Just waiting for Yew Barrow to become illuminated again, but getting some good stuff. Got the filters on over the front, and working on about 15 seconds. I've taken the aperture right down, f22, and got the ISO right down as well, to try and get a long exposure just to smooth out the water. But some nice shots coming up, as you will see now. Still at the side of Wastwater yet, and I've done a panorama of the screes, starting from that end, working across all the way along. I think about a 6 or 7 shot panorama, and it looked fantastic about 5 minutes ago, because it was all lit up by the sun. It's now gone behind the clouds, unfortunately, but there were some real good lights and darks, fantastic bit of contrast. And I did a close-up panorama, and I think in a letterbox format, I think that'll look quite good. Should be some nice detail. I'm now just doing a long exposure. I'm up to about 15 seconds. I've got 3 filters in. I've got f22, shut the aperture right down, and I'm on ISO 1. I could really do with something like a big stopper or something like that, but you know, you've got what you've got, haven't you, and you've got to work with it. So I'm getting 15 seconds and taking a shot, long exposure along there, and it's smoothing out the finish of the lake, and I'm ending up getting a slight reflection of clouds and some of the mass or the bulk of the fells to the right hand side of you. So yeah, that's looking good. I think I'm going to change lenses, put the long lens on, and get some long shots over to Scarfell, where there's a lovely bit of light and dark, and I'm just going to keep playing. There's various compositions around here, and it's quite useful. So every time I've been here in the past, the surface has been like the North Atlantic, the sky's been flat, there's been no light, it's just been awful really. So I'm quite pleased. The lake could be better, but you know, it is what it is. We've just left the side of Wastwater, and we've come up to the end of Wasdale Head, and we've just parked up facing the Wasdale Head Hotel because we want to. Oh, I can smell food. There's an old pack horse bridge here which might be worth a photograph, so just have a little mooch round it. If I turn round, you can see Pete making a beeline for it. I think he's looking at the gorse bush in bright yellow at the back of it.
Obsessed with gorse at the moment. All about the gorse.
So let's see how this turns out. Here we are. Can you see the bridge there? Might get something from it, might not. I'm going to have a look. Watch this space. We've just been looking at different compositions, and we're now stood in the river, trying to see what we can make from it, and this is what it looks like. Oh, hey, good man, that's what you need. Get some rubber socks. I do hope you like watching that and found some inspiration from it possibly, and if you did, get out there, get taking some photographs. It's all there for you. If you liked it, give it the thumbs up. If you disliked it and that sort of thing floats your boat, click the dislike button. You know, role of the critic is easy and all that. And do subscribe if you haven't done so already, and you'll get notifications of new videos coming up. So thank you very much for watching, and I do appreciate any comments and subscriptions. See you on the next one.